There's no mistake you found this video. What's the most important thing that you can do? What's the first thing you do when you came into this life? You took a breath. You illuminated spirit into your body. You are a body having a spiritual experience. You are literally spirit, and that comes in through your breath. So let's talk about the ways that your breath can benefit you and do a breathing exercise. My name is Sybil Harmony. Welcome to my channel. And so the last thing that you take when you leave this life, the last thing you do will be to exhale your spirit through your breath. Monks and sages, gurus, healers, and shamans have known this for thousands of years. We're taught to walk and talk and drive a car and learn a career, but who's teaching you about your breath? It's not talked about enough. Your most powerful tool. So let's talk about it. Most people breathe shallow through their chest only. So what we want to do is start to breathe deep into our belly. And the best way to breathe, to oxygenate yourself, is to breathe through your nose. So we'll talk about if you're congested, what to do about that. When you're breathing through your mouth, you're in fight or flight. Okay? When you start to breathe through your sinuses, you're going to go into a more relaxed state, a state of clarity. You're going to start to oxygenate your body. So when you breathe, you're actually activating your spiritual anatomy, your chakra system, which are energy centers in your body, your spiritual anatomy. You're activating and oxygenating your organs, and you're connecting with your higher self. So when you look at the Cossack symbol that's at the hospitals, doctors' offices, they have the pole with the ball on top, the wings, and then the two snakes going up the pole, okay? So the snakes going up the pole are actually your kundalini, your life force energy. Your life force energy comes up the pole, and then it wraps around your head and crosses over here and goes into your sinuses, okay? Right here beside your nose, okay? You have a spiritual opening here. It's a point, and at this point, when you're breathing, a third of your breath goes to oxygenate your organs, your blood, your body. A third of your breath goes to illuminate your chakra centers, which are your centers of consciousness. And a third of your breath goes to activate the higher self, the eighth chakra and the chakras above yourself. Okay? When you're more connected to the higher self, your life goes better. You know more who you are. You're more in the present moment. You're more in touch with your gifts and your purpose. That's how important your breath is. And it's more important than what you eat, what you drink, is everything. So we'll talk about some of the benefits of breathing. But first, let's talk about nose breathing. So when you breathe in through your nose, you're calming yourself, you're clearing your emotions, you're improving your health, okay? If you are congested and you can't breathe through your nose, there are some things you can do that I'll show you. Okay, number one, look at, are you eating too much dairy? Dairy can tend to make congestion. Chaos and confusion makes congestion. So you may need an energy healing. Do you have allergies? Do you have a sinus infection? Okay, or maybe you have a cold or flu. So there's wonderful herbal remedies you can take. You can do an energy healing on yourself to clear the sinuses. There are wonderful things for allergies that you can take. I, for instance, drink nettle tea every day. I have nettle trees, herbs in my backyard, which I planted. just for that purpose. One of the things that most monks in temples, or some monks in temples, don't want the most is for to be congested, because they can't do their breath work with their meditation. So that's how important it is. So there are some acupressure points you can use to clear your sinuses. So I'll show you, if you massage up here, if you're congested, and then run your fingers along here, it'll start to clear. And you want to breathe. If you're congested, you want to breathe through your nose to start to clear it up. Sometimes we can't tell if one side is clogged or not, so you can close it and try. But if you are congested or a little bit congested, start doing your breathing exercise anyway, because it'll help to clear it up. Okay? The next points you can do is to massage around here, loosen this up, and then it's very tender usually. If you stick your knuckles beside your nose and kind of dig in there and massage, it'll really help to clear your sinuses. Okay? There are two little indentations on the back of your neck, right near your spine, where it's kind of soft. Sometimes if you press in there and do the opposite side, if a little soft spot here, and then go like that. So massaging back and forth like that to kind of clear that energy channel, then go to the other side. So it's the back of your head, right where it's the spine meets the occipital lobe back here, and it's tender. That can be helpful. Some other things that help are essential oils, diffusing essential oils. Be very careful when you're standing over a hot stove with water, but you can get a pot of water and make steam. Put a towel over your head and breathe in the steam. If you'd like, you can add some rosemary or some eucalyptus. Peppermint might be a little bit strong, but you could try it just a little bit at first. If make sure you're not too sensitive to the oils. I wouldn't use clove or thyme, because clove or thyme or lemongrass can be very caustic and sting your eyes and the sinuses. So I wouldn't, you can smell those, but I wouldn't start dumping those in hot water or diffusing those oils. Make sure you're using a really clean, good oil. You're not using chemicals. Make sure there's no dust or mold in your house. Dust is mold. And you might want to look at, do you have allergies? What to do about the allergies. Sometimes, you have to ask your doctor or your nutritionist if honey, local honey, will be helpful. That can be really helpful for congestion. Okay, and like I said, you can get a energy healing with your sinuses to look at what is going on. I do those in my sessions. Now, so once you get the sinuses clear, we want to talk about breathing through your nose and then exhaling through your mouth is a detox. Breathing in your nose and then out through your nose is relaxing. Well, they're both relaxing, but breathing out through your mouth is more detoxing your body. You're letting go of all that old, stale air that just gets trapped in there. So many people who have been traumatized or abused or yelled at as a child, or anything that made you didn't want to feel what you were feeling, your breath may be shallow because you're trying to protect yourself. Because if you're not breathing, you can't really feel. So the shoulders, people who have been yelled up, their shoulders are like this, usually up, and they're barely breathing and breathing through or breathing through their mouth. So breathing through the mouth is fight or flight. So we do not want to breathe through the mouth unless that's the only way you can breathe. Okay? So even when you're exercising or walking, practice nasal breathing. A good way to just have a general good, better breathing experience is just to remember, as you're going through the day, you might want to put a little string on your wrist, and then every time you look at it, or put a little sign up, remember to breathe, on your bathroom mirror or on your phone or something, and that will remind you, because it usually is a habit that we learn from our parents or people around us to be a shallow breather. Sometimes there isn't so much trauma, it's just that nobody ever showed us why we should be breathing. through our nose, doing deep breathing. And, you know, so also don't start doing deep breathing when you're driving a car or operating heavy machinery, because at first it could make you a little bit lightheaded. So work yourself up. Okay. So let's talk about some of the benefits. So when you start to breathe and you're breathing deeply, you're going to start to clear feelings. Now, if you have asthma, asthma can be too much family energy in your space, the lungs not properly working. Then you may need medication from your doctor, and you also would want to really work the lungs, like go up steps or little hills so you get out of breath, because use it or lose it. We want to start using our lungs. Make sure you check with your doctor if you have a heart condition. But walking outside, being in fresh air, being in a home that's clean and clear of clutter will be clear of chaos. So you want to make sure your home is clean, you're using your lungs. So let's go back to the feelings. So you may have feelings come up when you start to breathe, and that's good, because if you can't feel it, you can't heal it. A lot of times when life is too stressful, we push it down and it gets trapped in the body, and then it can show up as repressed emotions, come blurting out somewhere, unexpected, feelings popping up that you don't know where they came from, because you haven't dealt with the things that we don't really want to deal with in everyday life. Our job is to bring those up and release those and improve our health so that we can come into a place of peace and balance. That which is our natural state is harmony and balance. And that's where the breath is leading you. But you may notice feelings coming up. Even with 8 breaths, like we're going to do at the end of this video, your anxiety will start to clear. You'll start to calm. Okay? And if you notice feelings come up, know that you are healing. They're just coming up to be released. Okay? So proper breathing can help to lower stress levels, lower cortisol, which causes inflammation. So that's another benefit. Proper breathing can help to normalize your blood pressure. When you go to the doctor and they test your blood pressure, if it's high, they'll say, okay, relax, take some deep breaths, go to your, zone space or whatever. And that's exactly right, because they know that your breath is going to help to normalize your blood pressure. Okay. You can start to restore your health, because remember, you're oxygenating your organs. Disease cannot live in an oxygen-rich environment. So if you have viruses, autoimmune, you need a detox. Breath is detox work. It's not, you may also need something else to assist you with those, but oxygen cannot live disease cannot live in an oxygen-rich environment. That's why they have oxygen tanks that you can pay a lot of money and go sit in pure oxygen. Make sure also that your home, you have fresh air coming in, or using air purifiers. Okay. So it opens your chakras and your psychic abilities. When you are breathing, you'll be more open. Whenever I start a reading or I'm teaching a class on psychic development, I always ask my students to take a few deep breaths before you start. Another way to get a good psychic message or impression is to go for a walk where you're outside breathing fresh air, because it really opens up your intuition, your knowingness, all your abilities are opened and heightened by fresh oxygen. Okay, so let's try improving digestion. Okay. So it oxygenates your organs when you're breathing. You actually need oxygen to help digest your food for every function in your body. Grounding. Okay. When you are breathing, the body senses that it's safe, and it actually helps to ground you. So another good way to ground would be, which is a whole nother video, but would be uh, feeling safe. How do you feel safe in your body? The main way I talk to people about grounding when you're not looking at spiritual anatomy is to breathe and to start to feel safe. So that's really important. All right. So now we're going to talk about our diaphragm. It is possible that some people's diaphragms get pushed up from stress or heavy lifting when you get older. So you kind of want to, below your breast line and your belly, kind of just like massage that down a little bit. You might want to massage your shoulders here a little bit on your back, your upper back, because that'll help to release your diaphragm. So you want to get the diaphragm relaxed. And now that's another reason sometimes people think that I'm having asthma or breathing difficulties when actually, because of stress, the diaphragm's pushed up on the lungs and we need to help it to relax. It can also be, you can have trouble with acid reflux, digestive issues, or gas or bloating because the body's gotten stressed and the stomach is pushing up on the diaphragm. So we want to breathe and relax and kind of push that down, push the stomach down, stick the belly out, and breathe. Okay? You might just notice how that starts to feel good. I'm not breathing while I'm talking because I'm wanting to not take a breath and have you sitting here for a long time on the video. But normally I'm really tuned into my breath. Okay? So now let's tune into our breath. And what we want to do is we want to breathe in love or peace, calmness, and when we exhale, intend that we're releasing anything that isn't serving us, fear or even anger. If you're angry and you stop and do this, or if you're afraid or your blood pressure spiked up, sit down, ground, and breathe. Breathe and ground before you make a decision. And when you're in the moment where there's an accident or something, you have to act quickly. Breathe. That'll come that fast. Once you get into the habit, it'll be that quick. Somebody says something to you, instead of going to fight or flight and and reacting, ground and breathe and come at with your best. Okay, here's how we do this. See? You see how we come from a grounded breathing place? Instead of losing our breath, we don't match the energy. When you're breathing with somebody, you're matching their energy. Literally, you can start feeling like they feel, or you're in that situation of, so be aware as you work with your breath that you are really setting the energy for your day, for your life, or whatever situation through your breath. You can become, if the room is chaotic, people are confused, they're angry or afraid, you can be clear because you have your breath. You're grounded, you're in alignment, you're breathing. Okay? That's a little bit more advanced, but let's go ahead and try this. So we're going to do 8 breaths. If you feel like you want to do more, that's fine. Or if you want to just sit breathing and meditating, or breathing and walking in through your nose and then out through your mouth or your nose. Okay, but we're going to do 8 breaths, breathing into the count of 4, hold for 6, and then release for 7. So we want to exhale more than we inhale because we want to clean that stale energy out. Then we're going to hold 2. So when you're holding in the 2 or you're holding in the 6, that's when the healing happens. Okay? All right, so let's get ready and go ahead and close your eyes so you can really pay more attention and kind of get into your body more. So go ahead and close your eyes. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold, 2. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold, 2. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold, 2. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold, 2. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold, 2. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold, 2. Breathing in, love, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold, 2. In love, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You may continue if you feel like you would like to. Otherwise, good job. Practice this every day. And remember to breathe. Thank you so much. It really helps me if you subscribe to the channel and like this video. I'm sending you so much love. And we will see you next time. Thank you for all your wonderful comments as well. Bye for now.